All right, everybody, I just want to start off this episode with a big announcement, really special. E-Rich has now been in so many episodes of this podcast that I'm going to officially rename it the Mumkey and E-Rich Movie Reviews. So without further ado, welcome to the first episode of Mumkey and E-Rich Movie Reviews. I'm your host, Mumkey.
I'm Cobb.
Well, that was really bad timing, wasn't it? I should have probably waited until E-Rich was
I don't care.
No, I'm not renaming the fucking show. The best part of this show is that it's called Mumkey and Cobb, and Cobb's never on it. But Cobb is here today.
No, I'm not.
No, he's not. Cobb, what movie did we go see last night?
Ice Cube meets Charlie Day.
Yeah, it's always Ice Cube in Philadelphia, I think is what it was called.
Yeah.
It's a little known comedy film called Fist Fight. And let me tell you, lots of mixed thoughts in my head about this one. It's kind of like a blender of, well, I mean, that part was funny, but that was really dumb, and that was retarded, and I wanted to kill myself for this part. So I guess to start us off, Cobb, what's your hot take on the film?
It was a decent comedy. I'm not going to say it's, like, the greatest, but it wasn't a lot of, like, the same jokes that, like, we see in every fucking comedy movie.
The first episode of this podcast, we reviewed a movie called
Christmas
Party or something.
Christmas Party.
Yeah, so this is the second comedy, I think. And how would you compare? Would you say this one's on par with that, better, or worse?
I'd say it's probably a little worse, even though I like Charlie Day and Ice Cube probably more than I like Jason Bateman. But Office Christmas Party took like a holiday film and a comedy, and it was just, like, kind of original. Like, a lot of it was original there. And so...
Well, compared to this one, I guess, because this one... First of all, the reason why I wanted to see it is because I love Charlie Day. I love It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. I will see any movie that Charlie Day is in. I actually really liked the Horrible Bosses movies. I thought both of them were really funny. So that's the only reason why I wanted to see this. As far as originality goes... It's hard to be original or unoriginal when your movie's entire plot is like one sentence. And that sentence is, Ice Cube is a teacher and he wants to fight Charlie Day, who is also a teacher. And that they somehow string along this 140-minute movie on just that one small concept. But, Cobb, I have a fan theory about this movie.
Oh, God.
Because I was thinking about it, and I am convinced that might be the plot on the surface, but there's a deeper level to this movie. Hear me out. This movie takes place in a world where every single person is insane, except for Charlie Day. And as the movie progresses, Charlie Day becomes absorbed within the insanity, and by the end, he too is an insane person. And the reason why I say that is because other than Charlie Day, who very much plays the straight man, he's very good at having reactions to things. That's one of the funniest parts of It's Always Sunny is when he like repeats what somebody said to him because it's really bizarre, like, oh, what, and he's freaking out about it. He does that a lot in this movie because every single person, it takes place mostly in a high school. It's the last day of school. The kids they're running amok. It's insanity. All of the teachers are insane and crazy. All of the students are insane and crazy. Then Charlie Day has his family, his wife and his daughter. You think, oh, maybe they'll be normal. No, they're also fucking insane and crazy, as we find out in a later scene in the film. Is there one character other than Charlie Day you can think of who just isn't bizarre and like, I don't know if the movie takes place in reality or if it's supposed to be like a bizarro comedy. And I guess I'm talking a lot here, but one of the reasons why the movie didn't work for me is because it's trying to be two different types of movies at once. It's trying to be a bizarro comedy in a world that can't possibly exist with all these insane people, but it also wants to be grounded in reality. And when you try to balance those and force them together, it just leaves a bad taste in my mouth. It's like trying to mix oil and water for me. So what do you think? What do you think of all the crazy fucking characters? Maybe we can talk about some of them.
Well, all the students I can see, because they're in like they're in a lower class high school, and it's the last day of school, so none of them fucking care. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't care, so I can see what that the reason behind that, and then
But they're going absolutely bonkers. They're doing things that are highly illegal. They should all be arrested immediately for these terrible things that they're doing. And then even the things that are legal, like they have a mattress and they ride it down the stairs and like, okay, whatever, it's a senior prank. But it's insane. They get a horse high on meth and have it running through the halls. They set up booby traps that you can trip on in the hallway to get sprayed with paint. One kid is sitting in the bathroom stall listening to porn and jerking off to it literally all day. He doesn't stop all day. And he's like talking to the porn like, oh yeah, baby, oh, I'm learning from this. And like, it's supposed to be funny, but after the first time, it wasn't anymore. But it kept happening. And it just kept happening. And so the kids are insane. Then you have the teachers, and the main teacher other than Charlie Day is Ice Cube. Also insane. I heard somebody say, oh, it's just Ice Cube playing Ice Cube. I fucking hope not. I guess after seeing Straight Outta Compton, maybe this is how Ice Cube is. Because when he takes the axe and just like destroys the kid's desk because he's so pissed that he hit the off button on the remote. Are you fucking kidding me? Is this supposed to be grounded in reality? This is a madman. He's an insane person in charge of a classroom, and I can see why that would be funny. But then when you try to play it straight, it doesn't mesh in my brain. There's the teacher, the redhead with the giant tits, who...
But like I think she's probably like a French teacher or something, because they were talking French to her.
Yeah, and her whole...
The one I would bend over a desk any day.
She has two character qualities. One, that she has giant tits, and the other that she wants Ice Cube to carve Charlie Day's face in half with a knife. And then that's her whole joke, is that 8 times she says, yeah, you're gonna get cut on the face with a knife. Like, okay, yeah, we got that joke. Let's move on. Then you have the guidance counselor, who her thing is that she's a pedophile and she wants to fuck all the kids. And it's not just that joke...
My favorite character.
You relate so much to her. It's not that the joke appears too often, which it does, but then when it shows up, it goes on for an absurd amount of time, where I get uncomfortable, not because of the subject material, because I think this kind of joke is funny. I mean, Uncle Alex, who's also in the room. Say hi, Uncle Alex.
Hi, Monkey.
Yep, Uncle Alex is also here. I think that's it's funny. But she'll have this exchange with Charlie Day about how she wants to fuck a kid, and it'll go on for like a full minute. The joke just needs to be one sentence. It doesn't need to go on for an abstractly weird amount of time where it stops being funny, and I'm just waiting for it to end. So then we have the wife and the daughter. And there's a B plot in this movie. The A plot is Charlie Day doesn't want to have the fist fight with Ice Cube at the end of the school day. The B plot, which is thrown into this movie for I think no reason, because first of all, it's hardly funny except for the very end, which is just like shock humor. So it leads up to this big shock humor thing. And if you can hear kids screaming, it's because we live in the worst place ever, where it's a weekend, so kids are outside screaming. And when they built this apartment, they didn't reinforce the walls with anything. So I can hear kids screaming probably 30 yards away from me, as if they're right next to me. So I can't fucking wait to move. But so
sidetrack there.
So for no fucking reason, they have this B plot in where Charlie Day wants to help his daughter at the talent show, and they're going to perform a song together. And then they spend like 15 to 20 minutes of the movie on this, and like I said, it's not entertaining, it's not interesting, it's not really funny. But when they finally get to it, it's the daughter singing, I don't fuck with you. So it's kind of delightful watching a 7-year-old girl dance and sing to that song. I thought that was a pretty good part of the movie.
Yeah, so did I.
But on the idea of everybody is fucking insane, is that like you would expect Charlie Day's like, oh, this is weird, what the fuck? But at this point, he's so absorbed within the insanity, and like I think all the characters rub off on him, and this is where he's no longer the straight man. He just starts playing into it, because then he's like, oh, fuck it, and he starts singing with his daughter. But it shows the girl's mom, Charlie Day's wife, and like she's like dancing, like, yeah, you go, girl. And I'm thinking, that's just what in the fuck is happening? Not even the wife can be a normal person. Everybody has to be insane. So yeah, that's my fan theory. I guess if you want to see a movie where where a straight man is living in a world of insanity, and he slowly becomes more and more insane, and then by the end, he's one of them. I guess there's like a meta way you can enjoy this movie, but as far as the comedy goes, I mean, Cobb can attest. I was cracking up at quite a few scenes, but I don't know. It's probably like a 30% accuracy rate for me. What would you say about the jokes?
It's about average. Like, I'm not gonna say super funny, but not super dull either.
A lot of the jokes either went on for too long or were repeated way too many times. So I liked them for the most part the first time they happened. Like the first 20 minutes of the movie, I laughed more than the last hour and 10 minutes of the movie. What about you, Cobb? Is there anything you want to talk about in particular with this film?
Not really. I could see like a kind of like an developed plot that since Ice Cube was like happy that they were all over the news afterwards, I could see it was planned to begin with to get the system better.
That was another weird thing about the movie, is that they have another kind of subplot where they're trying to like show what's wrong with the school system.
Yeah.
And I understand the jokes about, oh man, the school, we can't afford books, but we buy this coffee maker. I kind of like that. But the social commentary they were trying to make, like, the moral at the end of the movie doesn't make any fucking sense. So they get into the fist fight, the two teachers, and it becomes like a national news sensation. And then, for some reason, the principal, who was played by Hank Schroeder from Breaking Bad, who was actually kind of funny in this movie, but he got less funny as it went on, as everything did. I guess the idea was that this fist fight brought attention to the school, and now due to publicity, they need to hire them back as teachers for some reason. What? What? How did the teachers getting in a fist fight prove that the schools need more funding and more attention on the students?
I don't even know.
It's like whoever wrote this, they decided that they had to throw in some sort of. They wanted to be like a smart political social commentary kind of guy, and prove how smart and socially conscious they are by throwing this retarded weird moral into the movie that has nothing to do with it. It's just like it's a zany movie with crazy characters that ends in a live-action version of a Family Guy chicken fight, which I thought... What do you think of the fight in this movie?
I thought it was actually entertaining.
Yeah, it's the best part, probably. Yeah. It's... The fact that they spent an hour and 20 minutes building up to it, which is way too long. I wish this movie would have had something else, and the B-plots would have been more interesting if they had to have them. But the fight itself was pretty satisfying. It's a funny and a gruesome fist fight.
It was kind of predictable too. You knew Charlie Day wasn't going to go down after the first one. Like everyone kept suggesting in the whole movie, oh, he's going to get his ass kicked, he's going to die, blah blah blah, and he actually held his own, which was predictable. You can tell it was going to come. Which,
I mean, of course, it's a zany comedy movie, but after we see Ice Cube, when they're in prison for like one scene, we see him beat up a guy who is 2 feet taller than Ice Cube. He's like 8 feet tall, and Ice Cube beats the shit out of him. So the fact that Charlie Day is standing up to Ice Cube, like, it doesn't make sense, but it makes the fight that much more fun. You're rooting for that underdog. And personally, Charlie Day is kind of my spirit animal. He's who I aspire to be, because we're the same height. And we both, when we scream, we can get like that high pitch going of crazy voice work. And I really want to grow out his beard, and I want to dress like his character from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. And I want to become Charlie Day because I love him so much.
He's going to file a restraining order now.
Unfortunately, I have no musical talent, so I can't actually become Charlie Day, but it's just a pipe dream. He's my spirit animal. So yeah, that's why I wanted to see it in the first place. And yeah, the fight was satisfying, but it didn't make up for the shit that came before it. Another thing, real quick, before we move into if we would recommend it or not. Tracy Morgan is in this movie.
Sucked.
I'm gonna ask a question, and I'm not trying to make a joke. It's a genuine question. Is Tracy Morgan retarded?
I think he is.
I think
Walmart made him retarded when he got hit by the semi.
I think so too. I'm not trying to mock the man. I think he might actually have a mental condition, because his delivery of all of his lines, which none of which were funny, his delivery was on par with Cobb's delivery when we were in high school and middle school making movies. Like, Tracy Morgan's acting is as good as you when you were 15.
I'm going to Hollywood then. Fuck this shit.
No, that doesn't mean you were good. It means he was very, very bad.
Oh.
Yeah. So it was a bizarre choice to have him in it because I think he might be retarded and he was so unfunny. So, Cobb, would you recommend this movie? And if so, to any specific audience or just in general?
It depends on who I'm talking to. Like, if I'm talking to like someone who appreciates like Ice Cube's sense of humor or like Charlie Day, definitely. But I want to have people go like spend money on it and probably be like, it's a Renter or a Netflix movie.
I would definitely agree with that. Don't spend money on this. I do think that we should give more money to original pictures, but not this kind. Please, not this kind. If anything, maybe wait for a YouTube compilation of the funniest moments, and hopefully it'll just include all the Charlie Day moments because he's pretty good in the movie. And then watch like the fist fight that's at the end, but don't spend $9 like we did to watch this horse shit for an hour and 40 minutes. You'll probably regret it. Anyway, Cobb, we have a new segment on the show where I ask a question on Twitter. And,
God, I'm scared.
Where did I even fucking put it? There it is. Okay, Cobb, here's today's question that you and me are supposed to discuss from Ibusu or at Dorohedoro. I don't fucking know. They want to know, is there actually a horror movie that is scary? And you've seen a lot more of these than I have. So I think my opinion on horror movies is pretty clear that I hate them. Not because I'm scared of them, but because they're all shit.
They're all so predictable. Like, you can tell when the music starts climaxing and someone's reaching for their doorknob that nothing's going to be there because it's just going to be silent. And they're going to open or turn around and then rah.
Yeah, it's the same shit. So is there one that pops out in your mind as actually being good and actually being scary?
The one that has scared me the most in my life, it might be because I watched it when I was younger. And
that's got to be why.
It's White Noise. I love that movie.
Which one is that?
It has, I think, fucking Kevin Costner in it. It's EVP shit.
So is it safe to say that horror movies might be more for young people? Because I think once you hit a certain age, and once you've seen enough of them, you shouldn't be scared anymore, right? Because they're not that scary. The scariest movie I've seen in the last few years was Green Room, and that's not even a horror movie. It's just, I think those intense thrillers are what get my blood fucking pumping and me on the edge of my seat. It's not those goddamn jump scares and shit.
Yeah, some horror movies are good. Like, I liked Annabelle, surprisingly, whatever. Was it scary? No. But it was actually a good movie, good concept, actually somewhat original.
A big horror movie that came out a few years ago was The Conjuring.
Oh, I fucking hated that movie.
Do you remember what happened when we went to the theater?
Yes,
together?
you about got me beat
up. Wait. You can't just jump to the end of the story, Kyle.
Yes, I can. You asked me if I remember. I said yes.
So the idea was, The Conjuring, baby. Oh, forget your paranormal activities. Forget about whatever the gay shit. This is the scary one. Oh, you're going to be spooked. You're going to be more spooked than when you went to Harlem. You know what I'm saying?
A white guy wearing a Rolex walking down the middle of the street in Harlem. Yep.
You know, it's scary because there's ghosts there.
You mean spooks?
So we're at The Conjuring. Me and Cobb are sitting in the back. This movie was...
We're in the middle, not the back.
Whatever. This movie was so unscary that it was comedic. And unfortunately, Mumkey he's not a quiet boy, if you've ever watched any of my videos. So during like the big climactic ghost thing towards the end of the movie, I am laughing hysterically at how stupid and shitty it is. And there's this big old dude, maybe 4 rows ahead of us, who's not liking that I'm enjoying the movie. And he turns around and looks at us and says, "Hey, shut the fuck up, you bitch-ass bitch, monkey-ass bitch."
I don't think he said monkey-ass bitch, but we'll go with it for the moral of the story. That's how he got his name, guys.
So the movie ends and the credits start. And Cobb's like, well, Mumkey's gonna get us fucking beat up. Let's get the fuck out of here. But I'm taking my sweet ass time. Like, Cobb just goes down the stairs. I'm taking my fucking time, you know. I'm putting my shoes back on one at a time. I'm retying them, because when you go to the movies, you gotta take off your shoes. I'm taking all the napkins off the floor and putting them into my pocket so I can use them to jerk off later while I'm thinking about the movie, you know.
And Cobb.
So naturally, the guy who's 4 rows down, he sees that Cobb has already left and that I'm just taking my time, and he says, "Oh, yeah, I bet your friend was scared after I yelled at him." So he thinks that you were the one laughing. So I stand up very proudly and I smile at the man and I say, "Actually, good sir."
Tip of the cap. Tip of the fedora.
I tip my fedora at him. "Actually, good sir, it was me, Esquire Monkey, who was laughing hysterically in the middle of the film. The same boy whom you yelled at. But I'm not running away, because I'm not going to be a pussy in the face of some retard who wants to take The Conjuring seriously. So you can go fuck yourself, Esquire Faggot." And then I very boldly and happily walked down the stairs and left. And that was the only time I wasn't a pussy in public. I stood up to that old man who was being a dick because I was being an obnoxious dick.
It's not necessarily being a pussy. Most people are just not worth my time, so that's why I'm just like,
well,
fuck
sure,
it.
but he interpreted it as being a pussy.
Yeah, I don't care what he interprets.
Yeah, he just wanted to fucking go home. So the point of the story is some old man thought he was being cool, and then I told him he's a fucking faggot. The end. Next podcast.
Dun-dun, dun-dun.
Cobb, thanks for joining us for the Mumkey and Cobb podcast. It was nice to have special guest Cobb on the Mumkey and Cobb podcast.
Where's my check? You promised me my check.
Uh-oh.